Welcome back to Step Outside. You know, having a good irrigation system is crucial to having healthy plants. When we started this project, and it's an older project, it had an old style irrigation system installed. So there's a lot of things that you can do yourself to change that out and to make repairs. We actually cut out these old valves. They were just set up as lawn valves and shrub bubbler valves. Now, normally we'd like to use drip, and that's what we've installed here with these new drip valves. We've got the valve, we've got a Y strainer, and a pressure regulator. And then from that valve, we go ahead and install, basically this is called 5/8 poly tubing. From that point on, there's no more gluing. The emitters, they basically just stab right into this pipe, and on the end of this emitter, we go ahead and stab this spaghetti tubing on and cut it to the length to get the water right to the plant. These emitters come in a couple of different sizes. What we normally use is this blue one, which is a 1 gallon per hour, and this red one, which is a 2 gallon per hour. The smaller the plant, the smaller the emitter. The larger the plant, the larger the emitter, and if you get into trees or larger shrubs, you may add 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these reds to give that particular plant enough water for what it needs. It's also really easy to make the repairs on this stuff. If you get a cut in this, you can just use a coupler. Cut it out on each end. This stabs in from both directions. If you need to change directions, you can use a 90, and they also have T's, and again, they just stab in. So that makes it real easy. But if you have this old style system, irrigation system, you don't want to mix it with drip, but you can make repairs. If you encounter a fitting that's broken or a pipe that's broken, one of the simplest things, unless you want to dig up 10 feet of pipe, is to go ahead and use a union like this, because this will allow you to do a length of pipe and a length of pipe and go ahead and put them together, and this just screws right back together, and it's easy to make that repair. Now, if you need to adjust the height, or if this is broken, this happens to be a multi-port emitter, but a lot of times you'll have like a lawn sprinkler or a shrub bubbler on top of that. You can adjust the height by using what's called a cutoff nipple. The bottom of this nipple screws into the fitting, and then you can cut any one of these off to get the height that you want for the height of the head that you're using. Now, that's pretty simple. A lot of that stuff you can do yourself. To make your life a little bit easier, make sure that you have a good quality controller, but not a really expensive one and not a really complicated one. Some of these, you got to have code to operate them with. This one here is called an Irritrol, and it's really user-friendly, and that's why I like to use these. And most landscapers are familiar with these, so when you hire your maintenance guy, if you have this installed, he's going to know how to operate it. So keep it simple and you'll be happy. Now, you may remember the old days of old AstroTurf. It was pretty ugly looking stuff, really artificial, and it went down on hard concrete, so it was even hard to walk on. Nothing natural about it. These new turfs though, they've actually woven dead bits of grass into them, so they have a realistic look. And to get a realistic feel, they don't go down on concrete. Now you have to prepare the area where you want to put it down. You have to make sure if you had real grass in there that you kill it off first. So you have to use Roundup, usually in at least 2, sometimes 3 applications, and you can only do that during the warmer months when the nighttime temperatures stay above 65 degrees. After you've done that, you dig out 2 to 3 inches of the soil, get all the roots out, tree roots, plant roots, everything, and then bring in a 1/4 inch minus decomposed granite for your base. We bring it in about 1 inch at a time, wet it and roll it with a sod roller so you get good compaction until you get to the level that you're trying to achieve, especially if you're going to put your turf down adjacent to a deck like here, so that when we're finished, we pretty much don't have a tripper and we're at the same level as the deck. So let's go ahead and get our sub base prepared. Okay, now that our sub base is prepared, we're ready to put down our weed fabric. And we need to put this down because we don't want weeds coming up through our new artificial turf. This fabric goes on top of your sub base, not below it, because you just put 3 inches of material down that weeds could grow into. Simple to do. We get it in a 4-foot wide roll, and this is a good commercial grade weed fabric, and that's what you want to use. We just lay it out and roll it out into place. take these really long nails. We don't need to use a whole lot of them because we just want them to hold it in place, and then we'll roll out our turf over the top of it. So we've gone ahead and got all of our weed barrier down, and I'm not bothering to follow our freeform layout with that because I want it to overlap. We'll be putting granite on top of that anyway with plants around it. Now, what we do want to do though is get this thing all the way laid out, and then I'm just going to come in with a big pair of shears like these and cut my freeform edge. I don't have to follow the original pattern, I just need to be close to it because we want this to look natural. Let's go ahead, guys. So now that our artificial turf is starting to be laid down, we've kind of got it in the rough position where we want it. We definitely want to be square to these two edges of the deck. We go ahead and we take these 6-inch long nails and we nail them in, obviously at the corner. And the grass will just kind of pull up over and hide those. And then every 4 inches along the edge, now my hammer happens to be 4 inches, so makes it nice and easy. And after we get this whole edge nailed, then I'll go ahead and be ready to cut my freeform pattern in to get that natural look to this lawn layout. Now that we've cut the shape of our lawn and we've got it nailed down and in place, one of the last steps that we want to do is apply silica sand, about 1.5 to 2 pounds per square foot. So I may make a few passes over this just to get it down the way I want it. And then what we'll do is we'll come back and sweep this all in the joints. And this will really firm it up and give it a nice natural feel. Now once you've got that sound down, it really makes this grass stand up and look natural. Now you've got a really beautiful lawn that you never have to mow or water. Next on Step Outside, vitamins can help our health. Same is true for your plants. How to give your soil a nutritional boost. And do you have a hard time getting your plants to grow? They may be in the wrong place. That's next.